Well, the contract sets out the rules of engagement, I guess, and what our responsibilities are to the client and what the client's obligations are to us. And included with the contract are the drawings, specifications, engineering. So really we've got a recipe that's set, but sometimes things change.
Yeah, sometimes there's things that we couldn't see. We might have demolished a bathroom and underneath that bathroom there's asbestos that we couldn't see.
Yep.
There might be, we're digging in the backyard to do some foundations, we hit a tank, an old septic tank or who knows what. Those occasions are relatively rare, but they do sometimes cause an extra cost to the client by way of variation. But also it works the other way. Sometimes a client might be part way through and they've had a change of heart over something.
Yeah, change their mind.
Obviously we don't want to stop every job and at every point while a client makes decisions. We try and decide everything as much as possible up front. Yeah. But there are occasions where circumstances change. So the contract allows for a variation, but it's always something that's done in writing, everyone's signed, everyone's a party to, everyone understands and everyone moves forward.
Yeah, so the variations form part of the contract really in reality, don't
absolutely,
they?
Yeah, they may be invoiced separately at different stages through the build. But I also think it's worth noting that the majority of variations would be client requests. So it's not usually Supa Group requesting variations, it's probably the contrary where clients are changing a colour or adding additional lights or whatever it might be. As the project's coming to life, they're seeing their requirements change or they're recognising new requirements.
I think, go ahead.
Yeah, it's difficult sometimes to see things on a plan and understand what it's going to look like, and it's not until you're actually there looking at something in the space that you think, actually I think I'd rather it was like this.
Absolutely.
And provided we've got enough notice,
yeah,
we're happy to accommodate it.
Yeah, exactly. As you say, we don't want to stop the flow of the build because ultimately that doesn't really help the client either. No. There is a balance there. The other thing I think that is different to the way Supa Group handle things, certainly different to the way that we started, is that we have this display centre and colour selection centre, and historically I think a lot of variations are because people haven't seen everything together. They haven't considered how a paint's going to work with a tile or a flooring, and they can do all that at a place like Gallery. One stop, they know everything works together, and that heads off a lot of issues down the track.
Yeah.